What organizations have you worked with in the past?
I've worked with Greenpeace. I've done some volunteer work with Greenpeace. I've shown up for movements. I've shown up for the Moral Monday March. I've shown up for a lot of Black Lives Matter movements. I've done volunteer work with Habitat for Humanity. I'm sure there's others here and there.
So, when did you start getting involved in some of these groups?
I would say, to the extent I am now, it's been relatively short. It's been about 2 years. I think what really triggered it for me for a lot of the rallies was when Michael Brown was shot and the police brutality that was involved and the lack of accountability. I think that triggered something in me, and from there, with the Charlotte group, activism group being pretty tight-knit and everything overlapping, I met different people in different organizations. Around Valentine's Day last year, so 2015, I met people with Greenpeace and through Andrew Herman, and he introduced me to Hannah. I brought my kids to some event to make Valentine's Day cards for the Board of Education, and there everything kind of blossomed as well. So
Great. So, since the passage of Citizens United in 2011, there's been a large increase in money in politics and in elections. What do you think about that increase of money?
I think that's detrimental to democracy. I think there's no way that people's voice can be heard when it's the corporations that are going to have their ear. They're going to be focusing on their best interest and not the people's best interest.
Definitely. Do you see that kind of money in politics have an effect in North Carolina?
Oh, absolutely. I think when we see McCrory's relationship with Duke, for example, and coal ash and responsibility for cleaning up coal ash. Right now we have people in Belmont that can't drink their water. So absolutely, Belmont's down the street.
Yeah.
We're absolutely seeing it, and it's just a matter of when it's going to affect the rest of North Carolina.
Definitely. So speaking of McCrory, what do you think about his time as governor?
I'm thinking it's going to be a very short time as governor. I'm hoping it's a very short time as governor. I think he's cost us, millions of dollars over HB2. I think that's not who North Carolina is. I don't think he represents our best interest in that. If nothing else, not even from a humanity point of view, but if you think about it from an economic point of view, him taking money from our disaster relief fund to put towards paying for legal funds for HB2. He obviously does not have people's best interest. He's cutting off his nose to spite his face.
Yeah. So what do you think are some of the biggest threats to democracy that we have?
I would say Citizens United for one, and I think gerrymandering for two. The way that our lines are drawn is absolutely ridiculous. You can look at those lines and know that that's not a representation of how seats should be represented.
Definitely. Have there been any of the decisions by McCrory that you feel has affected you more?
I would say definitely the two I mentioned earlier, which is HB2 and his relationship with Duke. HB2 is more than just letting members of the transgender community pick a bathroom. It also says that people can get fired for no reason or with a reason and not being able to sue their employers. There's also there's no more protected classes. I'm a single mom. If someone says that they don't want to hire me or fire me because I'm a single mom, I have no recourse. So it's more than just bathrooms, but it's also, I want my friends that are members of the transgender community to feel safe going to the bathroom. keeps the minimum wage set. You know, we don't have a livable minimum wage, and it doesn't allow for cities. Of course, Charlotte, you're going to need to earn more than if you live in Hickory.
Yeah,
So it's a cap on that.
for sure. Do you think that there's something that we can do to make a change in the government locally or nationally?
I think the biggest thing is people need to get involved and know. I think we need to start holding our local city officials, elected officials accountable. I think it's ridiculous that they don't use their voice to let the citizens of Charlotte know what's going on at a higher level when it directly impacts them. Just recently there was HB 972, which Governor McCrory just signed. Our city officials did not do anything, one way or another, to voice their support or opposition. It should have been opposition, but I think that they need to be held accountable. So there are elected officials, there are leaders, and for many citizens of Charlotte not to know about a bill that's going to directly impact them is absolutely ridiculous. I think people do need to be more proactive, getting involved in local politics, and show up and vote. But at the same time, if you live in a county that's heavily gerrymandered, it's rigged, I think that has to be the first step.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you very much.